Hello, Younger Old here, and welcome to my channel. What I'm going to talk about this week is emergency stops. Now, I'm basically going to go through how we would do it if we're teaching a new trainee or an experienced trainee going on to advanced riding techniques. So stay tuned, and obviously I hope to explain a little bit more about the correct way to do it. When we look at what an emergency stop is, basically it's exactly as it says on the tin. We are stopping the bike in an emergency, bringing it under safe control. Now, what can help us greatly is to have better hazard perception. If we're looking well ahead down the road and we're planning what's going on, we see a car, okay, is that car going to pull out from this junction in front of us? So if we are prepared, it then cuts down dramatically the chances of us having to do an emergency stop. Touch wood, I'm touching my head as I'm saying this, yeah, I haven't had to do many because I plan ahead with the riding and take into consideration of all potential hazards. A hazard will only become a danger if we don't act on it when we see it. If we see a hazard in front of us and we act on that hazard, it will stop it from becoming a danger. So stay tuned, and I hope you'll find something interesting and hopefully something which will be of use to you. Okay, bye for now. Right, so I will say to trainees, how many brakes do we have on a bike? And the usual answer is 2. Front brake and then obviously the rear brake. In fact, the correct answer is 3 brakes on a bike. Obviously we have the throttle, but then when we release the throttle, we've got engine braking. Okay, so there's always an extra brake there which we use. Hence the reason we never ride like that with our hands over the brakes. For the simple reason, I can put the full throttle on there and have the brake. So if I'm doing emergency stop in that position, the bike doesn't really know what it's doing. Does it want me to slow down or speed up? So we ride in that position. Then should we need to do an emergency stop, we then release the throttle. There's engine braking on. Then we grab the front brake. Now notice I grab the front brake with all 4 fingers. A lot of the people now tend to ride just 2 fingers over the brakes. On this bike you wouldn't get enough pressure, it's quite stiff. Okay, some of the race bikes, the brakes are very sensitive, and yeah, people do operate them with 2 fingers. But as a general rule of thumb, we use all 4 fingers. Another reason is if you've got 2 fingers over the grip there, as you pull that in, you can actually catch your other 2 fingers, so you're not be able to pull the brake back as far as you should do. Okay, so basically what we do is we're going for an emergency stop. We release the brake, grab the front brake and squeeze, and then apply the rear brake. Okay, there's a simple method to know how much braking to use. Technically in dry weather it would be 75% front brake and roughly about 25% back. But there's a little scenario I use to tell trainees just how much braking pressure to apply. We squeeze the brake enough to squeeze a lemon. And with the rear brake, enough pressure to crush a grape. A question I get asked a lot is, should you swerve? And the answer is maybe. You have to assess the situation you're in. There's no point swerving if you've got lots of oncoming traffic. So assess the situation and swerve if you need to. But always remember, never swerve while you've got the brakes applied, because that is going to make the bike very unstable and you are likely to skid and come off. So if I'm going to attempt to swerve, I would want to do it as slowly as I could. So for that I would be braking first, like doing an emergency stop, release the brakes, then attempt the swerve. Once again, you just have to assess the situation at the time. So just to recap on what we've mentioned so far, Obviously plan ahead, look for hazards, act on the hazard before it becomes a danger. That will cut down your chances of having to execute an emergency stop. Should we have to, always remember, roll off the throttle first, then squeeze the front brake as if we're squeezing a lemon, then press the rear brake as if we're crushing a grape, to bring the bike to a control as safely as we possibly can. Well, I hope this has been informative for you. If you like it, please tick or leave a comment below, and maybe subscribe. So once again, thank you for watching. Ride safe, and bye for now.